League season is officially here for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you're like, oh, Scarlet and Violet, it's been out for a while now, how did it just get leaked? I'm talking about the second DLC pack, the Indigo Disk, which is set to drop next month, actually in a couple weeks from now. It's coming up really fast. So if you don't already know, Scarlet and Violet is basically going to have two DLC packs. The first one came out a couple months ago, that was the Teal Mask, and introduced a lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool story modes, some new Pokemon, and just like a bunch of new stuff in general. And then the second part, which is called the Indigo Disk, which is going to kind of do the same thing, and it's going to bring back all the starter Pokemon and a lot of other cool things. Now, as I'm releasing this, I'm sure we're going to get kind of more leaks over the next few days, but we're just now starting to get kind of into the leaks for this DLC pack. I'm sure before it even drops, we're going to get everything leaked. That's typically what happens nowadays, but we do have a little bit of info now to kind of give out already. So as of this morning, I believe, this is like kind of the only like official kind of leak that I've seen. This is coming from a DATAMINED. We basically got the leak of all the available legendary Pokemon from the DLC pack 2, and these are the catchable Pokemon from previous games that I'm talking about. So according to this leak, all these Pokemon will be catchable in the game. They're not going to be raid battles like we've seen with stuff like Mewtwo. There's going to be static encounters within the game, and apparently you're going to be able to shiny hunt them. Now that right there alone kind of adds a lot to the game, because a lot of people like to shiny hunt. That's kind of their thing, you know what I mean? And to have 25 static legendary encounters, some of these Pokemon that were never really previously, able to be caught as a shiny, it kind of adds a whole new layer to the game for shiny hunters and just a lot more lifespan to the game. Now this may not seem that crazy, right? We're just getting legendaries back, kind of what they always do towards the end of the game's lifespan. They just kind of make everything accessible from previous games. But if you take a look, you'll notice that some things are missing here. So we got the Kalos trio of the birds, we got the legendary dogs from Johto, including Lugia and Ho-Oh. You got all the big Hoenn legendaries. You can go ahead and cross off Unova, they got everything in there. We even have a Lola and Galar stuff over here, but one region that we don't have anything for is Kalos. And of course the other being Sinnoh. Now this right here is where I put on my conspiracy theory hat about one of my favorite regions of all time, one that's, not super popular, but in my opinion, one of the greatest regions. Of course, I'm talking about Kalos. And I think potentially we're going to get some new Kalos games sometime in the near future. I've kind of talked about this before in my streams, and I wanted to make a video about it. I just kind of haven't yet. But it's really about time that we get something for Kalos, because it is the most underrepresented region out there. Every other region out there has either gotten a sequel, a remake, some kind of DLC pack. Kalos got nothing. All Kalos got was X and Y, not even a Pokemon Z. And it makes me feel very old when I say this, but X and Y dropped 10 years ago. And I know we're slated to get Unova remake sometime in the near future. That's probably going to come first. But I do think we're going to get something related to the Kalos region sometime in the future, whether it be like a Legends Arceus type of style, I really think that Kalos is a region that a lot of people haven't had the chance to actually play. And I think that they kind of want to incorporate that in the next game or the game after that maybe, but sometime in the near future. There's been a lot of speculation about how Paldea is somehow connected to Kalos, and in some kind of way, it just a lot of things kind of match up with terrestrialization and the story of the war and everything like that. And I think it would be really cool if they kind of explore that path and kind of just connect the two, or just bring Kalos back in some shape or form. Now it is kind of weird that you include everything except for Kalos and Sinnoh. Sinnoh is more understandable, I would say, just because we've had a lot of Sinnoh games recently that you can just transfer stuff over from. This list right here is just the static encounters again from the DLC pack 2, according to this leak, which means that the other legendaries are likely transferable anyways. So Sinnoh, I can kind of understand leaving them off the list, but what about Kalos? We haven't gotten anything since X and Y. You have to transfer it to your Switch from the 3DS. Kind of just gotta jump through some hoops to make it happen. So what if they're purposely leaving out those legendaries? That way, whenever they release the next game, you're kind of wanting to buy it because you haven't seen these Pokemon in 10 years. Again, this is just speculation. I'm just throwing things out there, but it just kind of makes sense to me that they would leave it out in anticipation of some kind of new game that's going to feature Kalos in some kind of way. I will say, so far with Scarlet and Violet, the games themselves are awful. As far as performance goes and visually, these are the worst games ever. But as far as the story goes, as far as the mechanics go, terrestrialization, I think all that stuff is really, really good. Probably my favorite in the whole series so far. I think the story has been pretty good. Again, I love terrestrialization. I really didn't think I was going to like it. I've been a big fan of Mega Evolution, but so far I'm really liking it. It adds a whole other layer to battling, and it's just really cool in general. I'm fully expecting for the story in the DLC pack 2 to actually be really good and kind of continue off where we left off. I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of leave us on a cliffhanger leading into whatever games come next. I really enjoyed Legends Arceus, and that's a game that I would love to see for like another region. And I think a region like Kalos would be really cool to see that for. I don't know if they're ever going to bring it back, that kind of style of game. I'm sure if they did bring it back, they would change some things, they would improve things, but it'd be really cool to see with a region like Kalos. But again, I'm just speculating, I'm just throwing things out there. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter kind of say the same thing, like, where are the Kalos legendaries at? Why aren't they on here? And you know, as a Kalos fan myself, I'm a little bit biased, of course, but I'm just a big fan of the region. I would love to see it back. It's been 10 years, and I think it's about time we get something. That being said, as more leaks come out, I'll continue to make some videos, whether it's shorts or actual longer videos. But let me know in the comments what you're looking forward to most with the Indigo Disk. There's gonna be a lot of content, a lot of returning stuff, a lot of new stuff in general, and I'm really excited to go ahead and play it. If you guys want to see more Pokemon content, let me know in the comments, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm kind of wanting to do a little bit more VGC kind of stuff. I'm getting into the TCG as well. So these are all cool video ideas that I have, but just let me know if you're interested and if you want to see that kind of stuff. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.